All right, we're in. We're in today. Um, Man, I just can't help but to thank you guys for the watches, for the clips going out and hitting high numbers, um, and the high numbers that it's been hitting. And the growth of this channel continues to grow in increments from what it used to be. I notice people adding subscribers actually a little bit more attacks than usual. Had some attacks again. That's why I made the statement in the last video, because some people ask me, why are you that? This is not a debating place or a place for, this is a school almost to me. I'm looking at it in that frame, almost like the ancient days of a mystery school. You have to enroll to get in. And if you're not ready to go through the process of waking up, there's nothing to debate. You can find everything that you believe in at a place near you, a website near you, and a YouTube that will follow everything that aligns with your belief system. This is about esoteric knowledge, waking up, getting rid of the lies in various different aspects of ourselves and in our life and our multidimensional self, waking up, finding more truth, knowing we have gnosis, revelation knowledge within us that cements truth to us. And a lot of people don't have it, that activation. And the ones who have it recognize it. They're using it. The biggest part about this is when you come into this is that you must find a time and place to go through a processing for yourself, within yourself, to deprogram, to take out the programs that have been running on you by reverse engineering them and deleting them. And as you reverse engineer, because everything's done in reverse order, because that's how it's done and works. I've said many times the programming, using techniques to program, using all this, and we think MLK Ultra, which was done to individuals through the timelines, and maybe even those who we see in front of us on TV have went through it, so they follow the lead of their handlers to do what is expected of them, so they won't break rank or get a little bit of reality if anybody is in there, right? May have a soul to reverse engineer it and call things out in truth, or is it all handlers, right? And why I'm saying that is we've been having programs ran on us. Truth has been held from us. Lies have consistently became the foundation of this reality, which I buy in more and more, becomes a realization to me, this is a lower realm. And you cannot change this lower realm into be something different. And the difference is the higher realms of yourself. When you are in a place of just trying to live and survive, and by making a living, you are just trying to struggle to stay in a physical place of being alive from things that have been created, rich and poor, right? Think about it. If you're in a place of survival and you can't find food, or you're getting blown up all the time by war, you don't have time to do the inside work on yourself, because you're in the survival mode all the time, just trying maybe to eat, just scraping by to pay. This is a plot. This is why it is like it is there. And I see it more and more, where I think a lot of times, and I've been guilty in the past, we're trying to change the spiritual landscape of outside of ourselves. Remember, the kingdom's within you. And I believe, and I've experienced, and I even see that there's a difference when you get with people and really get around the frequency and vibration. And they know, like some of the people here that I've talked to, that they do have an aspect of light from themselves that's higher realms. But when we try to change what was called the world, which they would call in the past Maya, the illusion, which we now call the Matrix, with the movies and what the Matrix is, we start seeing we're trying to change something that's governed in a place that's governed to be as it is and really doesn't have the availability nor has that type of frame built in its program to become that, which many times we try to change into that, if it makes sense. That's deep. And if you're exoteric, that's just over your head and you're going to go, just be honest. That's why, to me, debating higher realm understanding doesn't make sense to me. An esoteric and an exoteric debate. I mean, I'm just like, really? A non-knower and a knower. An indoctrinated one and a one that's got rid of indoctrination. Come on. To me, it doesn't fit. But I'm not in a state of saying everything's hopeless for you. The thing is, you have to wake up to yourself and realize who you are, what you have, and what your responsibilities have, and what the work is done to you within you to get the leading to find out what it is and what you need to be, and be aware of that which is outside of us that wants to perpetrate an outside reality because they want to keep you in the Maya reality that's the reality illusion. So when I look at this, I'm looking at this as the underworld that many systems have called, many significant societies that we know that built up from, we can name them all down and go through them, use the same terminologies differently. When I look at Maya, I see a systematic program that is a program, a simulation. When I hear the Gnostics, they were talking about the same thing. This is the demiurge. This is a system. This is a program. This is a simulation. And they would tell you, this is really not hence where you came from. This was not your place to be. This is not what you change outside of you. You change you, and you have power through the energetic field, because all this is energetic field around us is like a library, a harnessing library. And I will go in that another one, but I'm going to go into something now. I'm going to show some pictures and some frames. And we're going to talk about this. And look at this. I don't know, have any of you in my community that watch me all the time have seen this? If you did aces, it's not brand new. I've never literally talked about it and shown pictures of it like I'm going to now. We're going to share and talk about this because this is eerie, but it harmonizes from what I'm seeing deeper and deeper. When I said on my last video, there's stuff I'm seeing and getting into, but I also noticed through this, there's a change of maturity with me, not to go back into a fear-based fight or flight, but to really harness me into knowing me and where my power and where my travels are meant to be, so I don't get hijacked, as many of us get caught up in samsara, ancient text, right? Buddha from Buddhism, Vedic, samsara meaning getting on the wheel within a wheel. Because I'm going to get on some stuff that I see this as technology, and we're going to talk about this now. So let's share some shit here. Excuse my word, shit. There's some good stuff right here. Let's So this is the Vatican. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I don't know if you've ever dealt with it or even knew about it. But this was a sculpture. Let me even make this bigger. This is crazy. This is called the resurrection and Jesus coming out of hell. But when you look at it, he looks beaten, fragmented, doesn't look victorious at all. I didn't want to do all these changes. I just wanted to do this. But we will get those other views of changes if we can. That's a far away look. Let's go the next look. This is the people's look. And when you look at this, And then you start looking at some of the things, there's skulls and darkness. Gosh darn it, I don't like all the changes with this. When I touch it, it changes. I'm trying to get more on what it looks like. Dude, but it was done in art, right? This was an art. And it's called The Resurrection. And they said it was Jesus coming out. I'll go there. On yours, make it bigger if you can. And that I tried to, and it changes, and I don't want it to change. I'll do it slowly and very softly. But if you look at this, if you look at this and you see it, make yours bigger if you can. Your phone, TV probably be too difficult. But what you see is what you get. You see, it looks perverted. It looks weird. It looks demonic. It doesn't look like a victorious God coming from the underworld with the keys of life and saying, hey, we are more than overcomers. It looks like somebody got their tail whipped, and look at all the dead skulls below it, skull and bones. And you look at this art that was done. It doesn't look heavenly from a place that the Vatican, in a place that is supposed to replicate God's word, God's beginning, Christianity, the Christ. I don't see that. This isn't a mistake. This is occultic. I'm telling you, this is very occultic, hidden meanings, because they know the masses don't get it. As I've said many more, the reason they call their audience, their believers, the masses, because masses represents, we give them exoteric knowledge, not the real thing. There's proof. I did this video showing you this before, how a group of people agreed that this was for the masses, this knowledge of exoteric. Guess who those group of people were? The same place where this 1500, 1700 years, whatever, which I don't necessarily buy all the timelines by them who control the timelines, hence, have. So when I see this, I don't see what you see, and I don't see that. I see dead men's bones when let me even get closer without making it bigger. Skulls, dead men bones. And this is supposed to be art that took a long time to do. Did you know that? Were you guys aware of that? That look a long time to make. Let's see if I can make it smaller. And here's some of the different pictures. There's your clergy, and that's what it looks like in the top areas. Almost like a demon coming out of hell, right? Not a powerful, implemented God Savior. That there's some more views from it. Notice where they sit. Notice this clown here dressed. Some of the stuff, as we start decoding, you're going to see stuff that somebody had shared with me. I had seen a video of the funeral recently, and I looked at the dressing of these hooded gentlemen who are leading this thing, and I go, that is definitely occultic, and that ain't for you. There's definitely secret stuff going on in this place, which I've been aware of for a long time, but now things are in such disclosure, it's really not hidden. This would be in the talk. It'd be this. They would tinfoil hats and occult in all these conspiracy theorists say all this stuff. They're loony and crazy. That word's not thrown around no more. The inside joke amongst all this is we need another conspiracy so we can find out some more truth. That's facts. That's what's happened now, especially the last 4 years. Everything's moving fast. Knowledge is coming out fast. Spiritual knowledge for the awakened ones is coming out fast. People are waking up out of certain levels. They're not waking up into the highest levels, but even people are waking up out of politics, religion, and those aspects of it. Very deep, the different degrees, right? And this was in the Vatican. As I was seeing if there was another aspect of it, a farther view. This is kind of like a cathedral, and it's behind the Pope now. I see it as opening up, even going hand in hand in the past, what we've seen during the New Year's celebration with the portal. being opened up, meaning they call this the resurrection of coming out of hell, that Jesus coming. What we that don't look like a victorious savior, the keys of life that dominated, took his authority, and did his number on the underworld. It looks like somebody, and then you see nothing but dead skulls with him. As this looks like a beaten, not a savior, or almost like a demonic force coming out of this area, if I may say so myself. Right. Um, so when I see that, right, it really, really makes me see, and I notice my background went away. Why I was still there? Why? Usually that happens when I share a video, not that. But anyways, whatever. Um, Still learning. Nothing's perfect here with doing this, but just notice this, right? You just kind of notice this, and so you have this figure. This art was done, right? You notice that looked like a room. You had the thrones. You had the throne there. You had the seats for the people. Behind him, the throne, the one that's supposed to be the Pope, which in their collaboration, that's God's voice. That's God's man. That's God's, you know. If you know that's the indoctrination, we know what it is though. Actually, here, because we uncensor the censored here. Yeah. Um, it's very, for many of you and me, for me, this is the balance of this physical realm and the place we are. I have mentioned before my bloodline of half Mexican. On that aspect of that side, I have a lot of Catholicism, which I never partook in. I never was part of that. But then I'm around those family members, and you can't tell them this truth. They're not able to bear it. They have no clue, right? But you can't. But then you want to tell the truth because you want to help somebody, but you really know that they have no ears to hear. Um, and that's just the reality of it. But we have to somehow balance ourselves in this world and still show forth our love to family members, friends that are in gobbledygook. And that's a nice way to put it, gobbledygook. Let's share another screen. I got some more to share here. Let me put myself off. I want to share something with you guys. So this was what we seen, and hopefully this image will actually be better. But there's another image I want to show you that's really blows my mind. This is it, right? This is not the image, but I just wanted to refrain. Look at this. It doesn't allow me to enlarge it. Well, it does. It's actually better. I just didn't want their writing and what they're thinking. So this is supposed to be Jesus resurrecting, but we see heads, skulls. What is that? Children? Yes, heads and skulls. And this was art done. It looks in raising from hell behind Daddy B and Daddy B's assistant, which could be a cardinal. I don't know who he is. I don't know the structure so much of this, but I'm aware of what this is. And this was artwork done, right? This was definitely some artwork done that they had put um, and made. An artist actually had did this, and I'm trying to think, how do I get back to the original one? Because there's some other ones. I don't want this whole story. I want out of the story. I just wanted to show the structure of the picture. Let me go back here. How do I get out of here? when I'm there. Okay. Let me go back here. So we can't really change that, but it's the same thing we seen earlier, except it jumping all over the place. This is a structure behind the Pope in definitely a meeting room that they have, and how this is organized. I'm going to share something with you that might blow your mind. Where is this being held at? Where is this place being held at? We're going to find out where this building is and what it looks like. Okay, this is not what I want. It is what I want, but I don't know how to get back to where I was at. Darn it. Darn it. Sorry, guys. This is me being inept at knowing how to deal with this with stuff. Gosh darn it. I'm going to have to stop sharing again. Because that which I'm trying to share has other parts. When I went into the one edit of the one picture, now I don't know how to get out of that one picture because there's other things I want to share. And I didn't, and more I'm not liking what I see. How do I change this to what I want it to be? Be with me for a bit. Oh, here it is. Okay. I got it. We can go back. We can definitely go back to me here and sharing. Okay. Got it. Be patient with me. This guy and social media, and that can definitely be a little off at times. Because that's not really where that was. I just wanted to show you that's what we were looking at here. But let's look at this. Have you ever seen this? This is the Vatican Palo. What is it? Palio Audience Hall of Vatican City. Notice the eyes and the snake in the building. That's what I want to show you. We're going to even reaffirm this because this is not the only one. Definitely. This is what it looks like as you walk upon it. I wish the image changed, but this is how you walk upon it. Let me stop the share again. This is getting frustrating to me with this one. It really is. Because I cannot maneuver the way I want to maneuver here with this. That it kind of pisses me off. I'm gonna be honest, it's pissing me off. And why is it not allowing me to do what I need to do? I will take the deep breath, folks. Definitely will take the deep breath. I'm probably going to have to go out of this each time I do it. How come you let me see the other one but won't enlarge this one? My gosh. Okay, there it is. It's behind me. No wonder. Get out. I can't see this. Okay, there's the snake eyes. As you've seen the other side, right over here to your left. Now you see the right. There's the snake eyes. This is where they go into. This was created as a serpent, and then within the serpent mouth sits the Pope. There's the two eyes to the right, and this can be seen very clearly if you want to go look it up yourself, and I have some more pictures here I will share. This is also, if I'm not mistaken, and behind it is the creation, I can't see it clearly, of this. So, yeah. Let's stop the share. Let's go back to me. Let's stop the share. Crazy, that snake, right? Let me share again. Let me look in the screen to find it. Images. So we're going back to that image. So we've seen the images. Here's another outside from another point of view. Let's see how this one works. Let's get me out of the way. You guys probably see clearly. I don't see until I get me out of the way. And so you have this structure here. You have the serpent head right there. And the serpent in the mouth is the throne is there, and that's where he sits at. It's a bit unsettling. People are saying, even Catholics are like, what is going on here? What is this? To the point of saying, God, what is going on with this? Obviously, we see, and let's sort through some of this. Remember in the story that we're given, the canonized story, the demon or the snake is always being villainized. And then they're showing this. They're masters, if you don't know, of deception. If you don't know, they're masters. When you awaken, you decode everything they do, except what you don't know that's hidden, right? So we know they hijack the Garden of Eden in the story, according to the Gnostics. The serpent's everywhere. Moses is going around his staff. All your medical field has one. They hijack everything from Lucifer to Baphomet to the Nazi symbol. Everything's hijacked. Usually not original meaning of the story from the ones who created it in antiquity, antiquity. Now, boy, me in that word just does not flow. Antiquity, and in the past, gosh. But we got the Pope with everything he wears, which we can decode. Definitely Babylonian and Sumerian wear, right? From everything, the cross even being at times upside down that we've seen recently, even into the fact of how they do the cross recently is all upside down, inverted, because the whole thing's been inverted for millennium, if not two, or in between, right? So we have the serpent, and the serpent is sitting here, and then we have hell rising up, the Jesus rising up through hell that doesn't look like some victorious God or Savior in the religion. It's supposed to be giving you truth and wholeness and holiness and love, because it's the biggest religious aspect in the whole world or earth, right? But when we look at this, we don't see a victorious Savior raising up out of hell. We see a demon-looking person who's scarred up, jacked up around a bunch of skulls, and others like trying to drag him back down, almost like antennas. Seaweed antennas, something that would wrap around something to even pull you back down into the underworld, because And then the serpent, the way they use it is the underworld. And guess who sits in the throne in the middle of the mouth of it, right here in the middle of the two eyes in the lower aspect? If you can visualize it, you'll even see the tongue, right? They're even trying to show you here. He's sitting in here in his throne among the mouth of the serpent that's supposed to be the deceiver. Because he definitely ain't speaking truth. But a lot of higher truth than you guys that have been programmed to think this is a legit story of how this works. We've been breaking things down here. I mean, I just broke down recently. My last two videos are going to the apex of showing you that the God was a war god. The demiurge, war god. To how much the next video follow with blood sacrifices. We went into ancient Israel, what we call, is it real? And then we're going into this, and this is what I'm diving into next. I got some more videos besides this one showing you what this is about. This is about the serpent. And this is the serpent mouth because they display the serpent as the enemy, right? Because they hijack everything. Inverted cross, because in the Gnostic story, that serpent means wisdom, Sophia. That's why it went to the woman. Woman represents wisdom, Sophia. Even in the Old Testament, scripture it tells you wisdom is like a she, feminine aspect. Now we have the serpent head and serpent cathedral, and behind it, Jesus resurrecting out of Demonville. Doesn't look victorious, looks like a demon or somebody who's been abused and just horrified abuse, not coming out like a victorious with the keys of life and doing the butt kicking in the lower realms. Is being real, like he got his butt kicked. A bunch about dead skulls, dead bones, and artifacts of the art that almost looks like tentacles trying to pull you back down into the underworld, or may I call it hell? May I call it hell? Or may I call it hell? Like I said. Wow. Sorry about this in some ways. I don't know when my background left. That's stupid. And it's, I say it's stupid, but actually it probably is something that I did, because I'll take full responsibility, because we're about here in our growth. It ain't about playing the victim or always looking for a way out and always blaming somebody else. Spiritual growth and waking up, even though we can complain that we've been a victim to this whole matrix and this whole system and all patterns of lie after lie built on a foundation of lie after lie. But your way out is not to play the victim, because the victim always requires a victim is always going to require the other part of that dualistic reality, a perpetrator. And the more you play the victim, there will always show up a perpetrator. Usually it's 99% of the time it's you perpetrating yourself with your negativity, your uncreative ideas, and your uncreative words that spiral you down into what we've seen in this art. But I got one more thing to show you about this art. And then we see in the serpent room, the serpent lounge. Come have a party. Come talk about God in the eyes of the serpent and in the mouth of serpent speaking in a beguiling way is, the Pope's throne. It's right in front of you. Actually, occultically, they're showing you what this is. They're not telling you what they are, but if you can decode, you can see what they are. And that's actually got to be done purposely. It's almost like we're telling you, but you dummies won't get it as long as you stay in the dummies that we know we've created you to be, which would be the program. You guys always need somebody to shovel you off to the next pin, you sheeple. I mean, that's their mindset. But we are showing you, but you got to be in a higher realm of decoding and consciousness and know the occultic decodes to understand what we're trying to show you, what really is the deal. even though their decodes and all that is just not the literal meaning of a lot of these symbols, a lot of these meanings. You know, a lot of it's given to the masses and exoteric, so they can run and go, look at them, the devil, you know, and they go on their esoteric whims that have no truth at all in it. And it may have a little teeny smudge of kindergarten truth, but not the factual adult meaning, maturity meaning. May I say so myself. But anyways, like a dusty rose. Let's look at something else that's very interesting about this story. The artist. We're going to talk about the artist. The artist behind the resurrection at the Vatican, a monumental sculpture in Pablo's V Audience Hall, just like I said, the snake room. He died a decade after completing the sculpture due to lung poisoning. Lung poisoning from the toxic fumes released while using the polystyrene to create the original model. So this man, this is amazing, died because of his artwork of the resurrection monumental bronze sculpture in the serpent room, because of the toxic fumes from the chemicals he used to create this model. Wow. And here's something I didn't say, I forgot to say, that's here in the breakdown. The resurrection depicts Jesus rising from a nuclear bomb crater, a powerful image. So what they're really showing you is, excuse me for hell, but it could be hell, is this wasn't about Jesus rising from the depths of the underworld and hell. It's from him coming out of the atomic bomb blowing up. What's the message here when you look at it this way modernly? War? Back to that Old Testament demiurge. And we just did 2 videos on blood sacrificing and war gods back to back that solidified how they were connected. Now this guy makes this resurrection art in I'm going to call it the serpent room, the Paul. It's actually Apostle Paul, the only one that somewhat at times shows you some more deeper spiritual stuff in the New Testament, right? Is Percel Fazzini died from this, died from his work. So can I say this? I don't know where he was. We'll read a little bit more about him, right? But this is from an A-bomb, nuclear bomb explosion. Jesus rising out of the nuclear bomb explosion. What are they trying to tell us? Are they trying to tell us we're going to have such a war that this is what's going to happen? This is the hell that you got to rise from? They do keep mentioning first was destroyed by water, second by fire. Fazzini's career. Fazzini was an Italian sculptor known for his metal sculptures, particularly bronze. He was commissioned by the Vatican to create this work in the audience hall. My name for the audience hall now is the Serpent Audience Hall, or Serpent Hall. Fazzini used polystyrene, an experimental plastic, he is a plastic, to create the initial model of the sculpture. When it was heated, it released toxic fumes that caused lung poisoning to him. His death, lung poisoning from the fumes from the death. I mean, he just created something that killed him. He created it from the atomic poisons of plastic. Was this a sacrifice? Now I'm going to have to say it. Was he already sick and knew he was dying? Or was this a ploy? Because I can't believe you didn't know this before you did this. I just don't buy it. Coming from the Vatican, they would know that because they're into science. They, if we go drop bombs on what this place is and all the information out about it, we know what it is. It's the religious things that, yeah. Facade. No, so there ain't any spirituality coming out of that is hijacked and inverted. To be facts. This is a place, Rome, that was into Mithraism and Saturnalia for a long time. And then all of a sudden they switch up and they're just these nice little Christians with a smile. Come on. Wake up from the sleep. So this man, with his own work, amazingly, see if there's any images, his work, right? Which we talked about earlier and showed earlier. I'll put it up one more time. He created this, and then he was poisoned by the chemicals of plastic when heated, killed him. My question, was he a sacrifice? I'm going to say that and keep saying it. Was he a sacrifice? This is why this was done. Even in the creation of the atomic bomb and Jesus rising from atomic bomb, I guess that could be hell. If you want to really put it, nothing could be worse than that, I guess. But anyways, yeah, this is definitely, and we're going to stop sharing. This is definitely worth the 42-minute mark. Not surprising this. And I'm not totally pleased with how this came out, with me having a hard time finding the pictures to make them look better. But you guys can see better than me. And if you're on your phone, you can make it as big as you want and look at it and see some of the details to that sculpture, and go look at more on the serpent and the snake room, the audience room, which I'm going to call the snake it in the serpent room, Paul's room, right? It's Apostle Paul. They named it after. Oh, these guys are something else. But we also know that the story of the serpent's been hijacked from them, and then they give it to us occultly because Moses is carrying that thing around. Jesus even says, unless you have the wisdom of the serpents, right? Taking up serpents. What's it mean by taking up serpents? There's a deadly part to poison, but taking it up means taking it higher. Consciousness, the vibration. Snakes vibrate. They have a hiss. They have a vibration. Similar to a cat. That's a whole different story. The hissing. Cats hiss, snakes hiss. Amazing in this reality that we live in, how it's inverted, plagiarized, inverted, and to me, it's a lower realms of reality. It just is. It's just factual. Nothing changes here that brings humans into unity, oneness, and togetherness. Not when you have war gods around. You're never going to do that. Why? Because it's controlled by greed, power, and control. Greed, power, and control. And then the Gnostic story is the demiurge and his leadership of what he is, which, if it's not exact, but that's what I see. And my question is, what is it? Is this in where we're at? What do we see? What do we participate? What do we believe? Crazy stuff, man, but not crazy, real. But this is really where I'm going to leave you with this. Meditate. Pay homage to yourself. Know that you are the divine light. Be aware. Awareness is key here. Watch yourself. Do the inner work. Do the child work, the inner child work. Do the shadow self. Know your subconscious mind holds everything, remembers everything. Whether you in your conscious mind remember it, shine the light in the subconscious. Because when that goes there, this is when advancements come quickly, and it's happening to many of us here. But stay true to yourself, because you are connected to the divine of the real, which I feel really is above this physical place we live. You guys have a great day. We will come back with some more.